Here we go. Welcome to another show, my friends. Yes, save money. Start urban homesteading now. Like, we've got the theme song on, so we're just going to crank that up a little bit. Welcome you to the show. I'm in my bedroom here. Sorry, don't have no fancy studio set up at the moment. Let's get this song off and get straight into the show. I'll play it at the end, actually. We love that theme song, and I normally, when you hear the music in my videos lately, that is the instrumental to that without the, what do you say? You can't call it text without the voiceover, right? Got myself a couple of drinks here, so at either side. Stoked to have you all here. And Monday morning, woke up, a little bit of rain again outside, but great news. La Nina is possibly going to finish. I'm going to do a video on that coming up because I think it's so important about this date time when it's going to finish. But firstly, what we're all here for, and many of you are here for, I would say, is urban homesteading. Now, what category does that fall under? Well, it depends for you, right? Because, look, there's so many sub-niches within it and so many different things that you can do to start saving money and to become more self-sufficient. People think that you need this big, massive space to do that, right? But, you know, I look at these families that moved into Sydney where I lived as a young boy in my street. Some of the Italians and Greeks and things, they all piled into this one house. It was just insane. You'd see them all come in and out. Big street, you know, it wasn't like compacted like a lot of places now with all these little buildings everywhere and things. Nice big house, probably a 4-bedroom house or something like that. But there would have been 3 or 4 families in there, right? And then all of a sudden, a year or two later, they're buying another house down the street. They're buying another one around the corner. And they're spreading out these families. And, you know, they had bulk purchasing power. And that, I believe, I just remember that from such a young age and going, why aren't us Aussies? Well, you know, like they're Aussies too, right? So, but the Australians at the time that had been many generations grown up a certain way of a different mindset. We had already started to get comfortable and go, oh, well, this is cool now. We'll just kick back. In those days, ciggy and beer at the fridge, Barbie, cranking it up. We're really thinking about, you know, this amazing opportunity that we have sitting right in front of us because, you know, they had less. They're going, we are not going to give up on this opportunity. We're going to milk the cow out of it, right? And man, I loved it. I love those guys, and I made some really good friends with them in our street. And my hat goes off to them. And you know, it really gets me thinking about the way we can do things. They actually really thought about how they spent their money and their purchasing power. And we can do that in small ways and offsets and things like that too, within families, within our communities, and within our groups and friends. And so I've got my list here. And, you know, the first thing really is the mindset, right? And then we've got to talk about the technology. Talk about buying in bulk, recycling, and, you know, batching and all that type of thing. Saving seeds and becoming more self-sufficient. Buying secondhand, going DIY. That's sort of like in this list down here. And everything else that we can sort of milk out and extract out of you guys, what you think as well about this topic. My concern really is the upgoing of inflation. I've noticed a few things that I buy have gone up about 20% in the last few months. Something that I buy regularly each time has gone from $8 to $10. You know, and occasionally if it's on sale, you can get it at half price still at $5. But when it's at full price, it's quite, you know, that's a big increase if you think about it. You know, like if it's $10 for 10 items that have gone up 20%, you know, that's a few items that you can't put in your trolley as you're walking around. Now, I'm a low income earner and, you know, I'm always thinking of ways to save money, recycle, and be more self-sufficient, especially even more so now. So let's welcome a few people into the show. Congratulations for coming. Appreciate it. I really do. Aussie Grows Show, Marty. Welcome, Aussie Grows. Streamed your show, Marty. Much respect to you, sir. Much respect to you, my friend. Thank you very much. Basement Boys Music. Hey, Marty. Good to see you uploading regularly. Did you get my email on apple trees? Not sure. Did you send it to martyware@y7mail.com? If you did, I will find it, unless it's gone into spam. But I'll check it out. G'day, Marty. Oh, that's me. Hey, talking. Just telling you I'm nearly ready to rock and roll. And also mentioning, if you want to support this show and my channel, you can do two ways. You can go through my Buy Me a Coffee website, so buymeacoffee/Marty's Garden. And also, you know, you can do like the super chat things and stuff like that. If you want to stay within YouTube now, super chat would be greatly appreciated. And it's found at the bottom of the comments box. You can just bang, bang, bang and put it into there. And it really does help the show. All those little bits just add up. That's what I basically get. Lots of little bits from everywhere. And that's what keeps me going and the show alive. Oh, Wayne's Worm Farm. Good morning, Marty. LP. Hey, everyone. Gypsy, I'm here too. Beaver. And yeah, welcome everyone. And we've got our first comment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag comments across. We'll do sort of more a Q&A more towards the end if that's the direction that we go to. And if people have got some really good things as we're talking about the topics that they want to share, we'll focus on them as well, because there's a lot of value out there to be given by you guys from the community, right? I'll just line myself up in the window shot here to make a better shot. Now, if you're coming in a bit later, guys, I guess I'll be mentioning this later down the line. You can always watch the rerun as well. And I'm producing a lot of content at the moment and working on getting my productions better. And yeah, some quite big announcements coming up in the future for sure. So we'll get this one across right now. This first one. Oh, Wayne's Worm Farm. I've noticed a price hike in some things here in the UK too. Yeah, look, it's happening everywhere. I was speaking to someone even in the Philippines. They're talking about some things that they used to buy. Now they're not. So, you know, it's Asia, UK, Europe, Australia. And, you know, if you've been watching some of the new videos that I've been bringing out, which I'm going to bring out different series of videos we're working on. So something going to be about farming, globalization, and saving money and things like that. Obviously the live show, then sort of the Marty's Garden vlog of what's going on around the garden, what's happening, sort of updates, things like that. And then we'll be mixing in some worm farming with how I'm actually creating my own inputs to fertilize my own garden and things like that and save money. And that's a part of this topic as well today. So stay tuned for that, guys. Some really interesting stuff coming up on the way. And look, I've just got to have a sip of my drink. I've got my rooster cup here. Love my rooster cup. I had to I got rid of all these cups because when I was moving, we just had to not bring lots of stuff. So I didn't keep my collection. We just kept, I think, the rooster and maybe the pig. I'm not sure. But definitely got the rooster. Here it is, Karen's cup. I stole it today. The rooster cup. Because we got chickens. And we don't have a rooster with the chicken, so at least we've got a rooster cup, right? That's not even funny, but anyway, there you go. Right, so let's get into the first part of this topic here. Now, some people will be coming in going, oh, wow, is this what Marty's Garden Show is? New people. This is just my live show, and so don't expect all my content to be like this, guys. This is when I come out and connect with you guys. We talk, I pass on some my knowledge, and we connect and have a chat, and also look at things, way we can improve things in our life, right? So the first one, mindset. Now, if we're looking at guys like economists and people that teach us about money, these gurus and things like that, you know, I don't know if guru is even the right word anymore. It's like influencer now, right? See that face that I did that? I don't regard myself as an influencer. I regard myself as an educator and someone that actually like inspires others. That's who I regard myself as. And if people ask what I do now, I actually say I'm a professional YouTube inspirational gardener. That's, you know, like it teaches self-sufficiency and small space organic gardening. I need to shorten that down somehow in a better tagline, but that's sort of the way I put myself across. Now, if you haven't given me a thumbs up yet, please do. Let everyone know that Marty's Garden is cranking, and it will actually put out a little bit to the algorithm. And yeah, it just shares it out there so more people come onto the show. So mindset, as I said, is really important. because we need to actually make a shift away. What's happening is the all big technology want to market and sell to us more smart things, right? So smart gardens, smart homes, smart this, smart that, big mobile phones that are really expensive that we probably don't even really need, but we all are obsessed with them, including myself at certain times. And yeah, so we're sort of heading in that direction. That direction is not going to stop. But we need to, if we can think about it and just slow down a little bit instead of getting what we want right now, instead of all this packaged food that we buy and they put it in front of us. We go, oh, we can grab that package. That'll save me all that cutting. I won't have to chop all this up. I can just put it straight in and bang, bang, bang. And really, you've only saved yourself maybe 30 seconds or 2 minutes of your life. Now, I know that's valuable, but we're actually, like, by doing that, we're moving away our mindset of getting into the relaxation mode, doing the little bit of preparing, putting the love into the cooking and doing it how we want to do it. And it's even better when you go outside and you harvest some of that and you bring it back, even if it's a little bit on your plate. You go for that bit and go, oh man, how's these new cherry tomatoes, and oh, that little bit of herb and oh, the lettuce with it, it's so good. You know what I mean? Like, we start connecting with our food. And then as we're doing that in very small amounts, as we're growing these small amounts, we're thinking, oh, maybe I should grow some capsicums as well. That would go really good. We could bake some capsicums. We could fill them full of the cherry tomatoes with the garlic and the parsley and some of the herbs from the garden. And we'll just cook some little bit of meat or something with it, a little bit of maybe pasta or rice or something. And we've got 1/3, that's 30%, which I'm talking a lot about. It's so easy to do on the side of our plate. And that can change so many things in our life. And then it really just changes our mindset. So if we think about mindset and we move into it slowly, I'm always talking about just moving into it slowly, taking your time and finding what sort of suits you and how much time you have, and then boom, we're on. So let's keep dragging these comments across a bit. Been a while since I dropped into one of your live shows. Been busy, and I'm sure you've been busy too. Well, I haven't done a lot of live shows, to be honest, since I moved here to this place. I've got to find, I've changed my shifts. I'm not doing morning shifts for work, I'm just doing afternoon shifts now. So hopefully things will start improving for my workflow and the way I can do things. So yeah. Who knows? We could. I'm not going to promise, but there could be a weekly or a fortnightly live show regularly coming up. Scotty from Garden Kings got the new channel out, mate. Loving your work, and I'm sure they're just going to get, as your garden grows and your videos grow, they're going to get better and better and better. Just woke up with my cuppa. Well, welcome to cuppa land, my friend, and enjoy. Now, we do have something that I just want to announce here just really quickly. I've got something really, really exciting. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Super chat! Here we go. Let's do the DJ horn. What else we got? We got applause. The fake crowd. They just love to be here. The fake crowd. But we've got to turn the sound effects up a little bit. The DJ horn. Don't think that's really a goer, but because we love the fake crowd. Thank you so much, Mohawk1623, for a super chat of $30. Hey Marty, just sneakily watch while pretending to work. Couldn't think of a question to ask, but just wanted to pass something on. Thanks for sharing everything with us. Bless you, brother, from Matt. Bless you too, mate. That is just incredible. Thank you so much. These things really make my day, and they really do help a lot. So, yeah, much appreciated, Matt. Thank you so much. Let's go on to, and let's just give Matt another applause. Let's just show how grateful I am, and the crowd loves you, mate. The crowd loves you. Let's keep on going here. Oh, Wayne, you're cranking out the comments today. A day doesn't start right without a cup of Garden Kings. Please promise I love your regular lives. Well, we'll look at it, mate. They are coming. It's just a matter of when. So it's just a matter of when. Once I'm sort of organised and things. I want to make a quick little announcement. I spoke with Mark from Self-Sufficient Meat, right? And we're actually been in touch together for years, and we both subscribe to each other. And look, if you've come to the live show and you've watched right through here, I haven't announced this anywhere yet, but he is coming here in November to build raised garden beds right here at Marty's Garden. And, we've got a confirmation on that. So that's exciting times ahead, my friends. Some good content on the way, and special guests, and probably will become a good mate over time, I'd say. Now we're living closer together. Amy Robinson, loving the new look productions, Marty. Looking forward to watching your future videos. Thanks, Amy, so much, and I appreciate the message from you before. Love the DJ horn. Okay. It's a funny one, I guess you got the right music going, get it cranking. We had a doof party behind me a couple of weeks ago. Didn't appreciate that. It went on to 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and I still don't have a blind up behind my window, as you can see. Got to get one up. We've got one in the spare in the house. I just got to get it up. All right, we're talking about using technology now to your advantage and not being a slave to it, right? So things like this, our mobile phones, all the different apps, all the different softwares, stuff like that. We can use this to actually improve our way that we are working on saving money through getting the right information. So, like obviously you're watching this show through a phone or a computer or something like that, which is a real blessing. But if we get addicted to this thing and we spend useless time with it by just scrolling through stuff going, oh, that was funny, oh, that was, we need that. But at the same time, just going, okay, I should really be out there doing some watering. I should be feeding my chickens. Maybe I should be planting some microgreens or things like that. Thinking, in 10 days I'll have some rocket arugula growing, little sprouts. I'll be able to harvest from them and put them on the top of my little salad leaves. Like I like to get them and put them on top of the cos lettuce and a little bit of noodle wrapped in, a little bit of meat, and boom, I just eat it like that. Love it, absolutely love it. And they can have that food in a couple of weeks quite quick. So use the technology to advance what you're doing. And, it could even be something like a timer that waters your garden and that saves you time. And then you can be doing something else, not sitting in front of the TV watching Netflix, even though I do that in the evening myself when the sun's gone down. But you know what I mean. So you can get out there and just think of ways we can become more self-sufficient. So this is getting into the next step of it. And this is like thinking about, you can do like a cooperative locally where you buy in bulk and share out with the street or with family and friends. And then you can also consider buying in bulk and storing it properly, right? Now, I am not the master at making all these different concoctions and sauces and drying things and making things in jars and all that type of stuff. I've done it, and I want to learn how to get better at it because I think preserving is really, really important. But if we buy in bulk, then definitely we can do that. We can dehydrate some things. We can preserve some stuff. And then my favorite is the batch cooking, right? So I cook up a big meal because it's just Karen and me, but I cook up usually enough for 3 meals for us in both in one. And what that's doing is the flavour gets better to some foods too when you batch cook it and put it away. I know the nutrition goes down a little bit, but the flavours can get better. Now that's really important. So we save money because we're not using as much energy. We're cooking once instead of 3 times on the stove. So we're saving power, and we're also saving our time by doing that. And we can also, what I do is I batch cook in certain ways, and I collect herbs and different things in certain ways, and I put them in the freezer and fridges and stuff like that, and I come out. And so I can actually grab a bit of something from the batch cook from that, something from that, and then grab a little salad on the weekend when I don't want to be cooking too much and just taking it a bit easier, and heat something up. And I've grabbed the fresh salad from the garden, and boom, I've got a nice little meal. So by batch cooking, we can save a fair bit of money. So I'm sure there's quite a few of you out here that would be batch cooking and doing that. I know batch cooking is massive in urban homesteading, right? So we can learn a lot from those big channels and things like that teach that type of stuff. But I'm sure there's a favourite meal that you batch cook. Love to hear it in the comments box, or if you're watching the rerun, down in the comments box down below. I reckon that would be really cool. Let's go for a question here. Garden Kings, what's your feeding schedule for the girls? Unlimited access or a handful every arvo? That's a good question. Now, the chickens have a gullet, right? So we'll talk about that in a second. That's where they store food in their neck. So what I do is I feed them scraps in the morning, so they get the scraps, and then I make sure they finished all that. Then I take them out around so I've got 5 chickens, so I end up with about 1 handful of the organic feed each, which is a mixed grain feed with a high protein mix to help with the eggs. And then I let them out, and so they cruise around for a little while in their pen or outside. And then later on in the afternoon, we give them just a small feed to entice them back into the coop or the pen area where we want to have them to go, because I've got to lock them up at night for foxes and snakes and things. And then in the morning I check their gullet when they come out and check if it's full or if it's compressed. If it's compressed, it means it could be some sticks and different things caught in there, so I won't feed them as much. Let that go down. Then we have to massage that gullet bit. Now, I've never had a problem with it, but I've heard it can get compacted, so it's something I'm learning recently. I'm going to check that. So, and then some days, like if it's raining and wet and crappy, I don't feed them as much. I think today's like a day when the birds will be out and they're just not capturing as much food. They're sitting in a tree, they're conserving energy. So I try and follow along those lines of a sort of a natural feeding process. And warmer, hotter days, I'll give them a bit more because I know they're out scratching around and exerting more energy. In time, I'm going to have compost piles, wood chip piles, things like that. Hopefully I'll be feeding them less, and they'll be hunting for more protein. As the trees get bigger and things, they'll be able to get underneath there and not make so much of a mess, hunt and find more insects and proteins and things like that. So that's the feeding schedule for the girls, and it's an ongoing thing at the moment. And I will be working on cutting costs down and giving less seed at time when I build up mulch piles and things. Basement Boys music. I love Mark's content. He's a legend. Me too, man. So thankful for it. I'll need to go over and have a look at his content a bit more. Hey, Marty. Good to be here. Bendigo's fruit trees. Woo! Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Basement Boys music. Mark and the Weedy Gardener would be an awesome collaboration. Hey, what about me? Yeah, probably be fun. But I don't even know if they know each other, to tell you the truth. Mark's never even mentioned him to me. 2 different characters, that's for sure. But, yep, Self-Sufficient Me is coming here to Marty's garden early November. You're in a new house now, Marty. Yes, this one was blessed to me. Pure, full-on miracle from, as I always like to give the Creator, Jesus, thumbs up on that one, because, this place, unbelievable story. But there's a video about it. If you go back sort of in the thing, you'll see, just scroll through, you can watch the story about how I got this amazing place and this space. I'm gobsmacked even to this very day, but very, very thankful. All right, so Garden Kings. Thank you, Marty. There's not really much information there about it. My girls are getting bigger every day. No eggs yet, though. They sleep next to our bed at night. Well, I know some people that sleep with chickens are pretty much, yeah. So as long as you're enjoying them, mate, and they're a great pet. And once they start laying their eggs, don't be too worried about them. Once they start laying, they start laying. But, don't be too overly concerned about it. I get more than what I need. I gave away 36 eggs yesterday because we get 4 to 5 a day. And I just don't eat them. We just don't eat them all. Some days I might need eggs for 2 or 3 days, and then all of a sudden we'll eat 4 or half a dozen or bake something, and then we use all of them. But so for me, it's more about them, not only as pets, but good solid workers. Once I make the chicken video, you'll see actually how they've restored the lawn in spots where the tractor's been. They've just mowed it brown. to nothing. And then 3-4 days later, this new green grass is coming through twice as thick, where they've turned it and mulched it and the whole lot on the heavy clay. So yeah, they're doing a great job, and fertilising the spot. And couldn't at the moment, they're around near the fruit trees, fertilising the new stone fruit, the stone fruit. So yeah, and the stone fruit is cranking. Well, we hope it's cranking. It's got some flowers. Maybe just getting a bit excited. All right, let's move on to the next part. We talked about buy in bulk, so I think we're going to move into recycling. This is exciting. Almost want to DJ Hornet. Should I DJ Hornet? Scotty said I should. Here we go. Now, all us oldies really don't like that, but it just adds some element, a bit of fun to the thing. What else have we got here? There's a bicycle horn. Now, that's a bit like a clown's, a bit more boring, right? So we're not going to bicycle horn it. We're going to be talking about recycling, worm farming, and pots. So recycling, obviously, is a big part of urban homesteading. And why that you go, mate, why are you talking about urban homesteading? Really, you're saying you're a worm farmer. You're talking about, like, agricultural horticulturist. Yeah, I'm all those things. I fit all these things into what I call my toolbox. Worm farming is a part of my toolbox to get things done and to create this self-sufficient garden, which really is a type of urban homesteader. And I asked Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, I said, would you class me as as a homesteader? He said, yep, sure I would. So there you go. He said I am. so there you go. All right, so let's keep going on. So recycling. There's millions of ways we can recycle. So much content, like on Pinterest. You can just Google it, on YouTube, things like that. I'm really looking into these, the plastic food grade bottles. Karen uses this big 2-litre apple ginger juice. It's beautiful, an organic one, so nice. And it's a nice, thick, strong bottle. So we're storing liquids in it. And also I'm going to be looking at some ways to grow in that container and use it, and somehow maybe stack a vertical garden, put some holes in it, and pour the juice through or some type of liquid, fertilizer down, just recycle it, just keep using it, spill out the edges, and spill out the herbs and leafy greens and things, whatever we decide to grow. I'm not really sure yet, but that's how I'm thinking about recycling. I'm also thinking about recycling more with using systems for worm farming, how I can do that into the future, so I don't have to go out and buy more plastic worm farms. I don't contact these worm farm companies anymore. Couldn't be bothered wasting my time with them. They've never stood by me with my content very much. A little bit from Maze. Maze has probably been the most helpful out of all of them. So if any, I would shout them out first before anyone else. But I think going DIY with it could be a really, really good option in doing that, and building systems where, like self-fertilizer. I may go out and buy another worm farm. I just may, right? But I'm going to buy it with my own money. But, I want to build these systems where the worms are coming out and getting into the garden and doing the fertilizing, moving the microbiology around and sort of, interacting with the garden in the soil web. So then the earthworms are coming up, the native worms are coming up like this and pulling material down and creating these drain pipes and aeration and building soils and things. And then the compost worms are going through the top and doing all that fertilization stuff, which it works absolutely brilliant with the combination of, once you've got the fungi in there, it works absolutely great. My bail garden's got fungi popping up in them everywhere now, and it's just wonderful. When you see the soil web start kicking in, you notice your plants just starting getting so much better. It's just unreal. So recycling, recycling with worm farming, and then recycling using some type of pots and things like that. Be aware of what you do use. Like sometimes these foam boxes, they're okay, but they fall apart and stuff like that. So just be careful that they're not falling apart and spreading around the garden and things like that. I think it might stay in the subsoil for ages. Same with like some plastics that break down and things, We just want to be a little bit careful with that. Microplastic is just everywhere now, and I know there's not much we can do about it, but we can just think about our space and taking the best care that we can on site. All right, Bendigo, fruit trees. Hey, Marty, I went to a nearby mushroom farm, and they give away mushroom compost for free. Wow, man, you want to get hold of that. I take the trailer, though, there, to load it up. then fill my compost bins up with it, and fill all my garden beds. Man, you are so lucky. They're paying, it's $90, $89 a cubic square metre up the road from where I live. It used to be 70 down the coast. It's $20 more here, and it's fresher. I didn't find it as good when I looked at it the other day. I want to buy it, and I'm looking at it going, bit expensive. Maybe I can find other ways. I rang up an arborist. Said, hey man, he said, yep, $120 for 12 cubes. I'm like, drop it on my front lawn. I know it's going to look like a massive big pile, but I'm going to use it. So hopefully I'm waiting for them to call me up and say they're around close soon, and do that. And then I'll look at mushroom inputs. Now, just check the acidity on if you've got a pH meter on your mushroom compost. Let it sit for a while if you can. So it just doesn't, if it's got to go through a bit of a heating process, it would probably still be quite fresh coming from them. But well done, congratulations. And once the heat goes out of it, use it in worm farming situations. It's brilliant stuff. And if you do use it correctly, you'll have mushrooms come up. I have, and big edible ones. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. Now I've got in my number 6 here. It's number 6, whichever of the YouTubers do, they go number 6. But you know, I'm not number either. Phone's gone. We'll just hang that up. And Werribee, Victoria, it's got to be a spam call. I hate those spam calls, man. Anyway, let's get back into this. How many chickens do you have? I have 5 chickens, my friend. 5 chickens. Love them all. Fatso is probably my favorite at the moment. She's the black, like more of an Astrolorp sort of style one. Beautiful bird. Mathematics, really clever. She jumps over she's the first one out over the fence every time. And then we got Painful, which is, you know, that speaks for itself. And Flighty. Flighty's just a super freak. And just like, you just go boom, and poof. Freaks out. You know, yeah, that brown one. They're all good birds. We love them all. And right, let's keep going here. Bendigo fruit trees. Yeah, all for free. It's kind of still breaking down, so need to be careful at best as it produces. But great, oh man, for free, just pile it up, mate, and get as much as you can, because eventually it won't be free. And you know, when it's that sort of like fresh, it breaks down. By the time it's breaking down, you lose about half to 1/3 of it. So yeah, 2 is 2 not enough. Yeah, I did that in the video when I was living at the other place, in a smaller place. So for a little urban homestead, 2 is enough, I believe. It just depends on the size of your space and what you've got. And yeah, that video is there. And I'm probably going to do a video for 5 for a larger. We've got a larger space now, and looking at sort of bigger options and things like that. So yeah, 2 is, I would say 2 for a very small place. And they've got enough space for them. They just don't get it in the neighbour's place like my 2 did, and got locked up in the shed down the road. Really sad story. Had to bust them out. And they even clipped their wings, the people way down the street, without even asking. And you know, like, so you got to be really careful about these urban situations of how your chickens are sort of like where they roam to and what they get up to, because they might be fine, but they might make a bit of a mess around the neighbours' yards, and they might lock them in a shed like they did for me, and then clip their wings without even asking. You know, so things like this can happen. So keep that in mind. Wayne's Worm Farm. How much more land have you got in your new place? I think we're on 700 squares, I think. I can't remember now, 400 or 700. It's quite a big space. Just have a look at the videos. You'll see. You can see how big it is. Just keep in mind the wide angles lenses actually make it look a little bit bigger than it is. So yeah, great new space. Bendigo fruit trees. I also get wood wool for $5 a bale. Wood wool. I never heard of that before. It's about triple the size of a sugarcane bale you get from Bunnings, and it's only $5. Fill my chicken coop up with it, and then onto my gardens for a month. Wow, that's awesome. That's really cheap, man. I'm buying big bales from the co-op for about $10. They're about 3 times the size of a bag that you get at Bunnings for the sugarcane bag. So it's not too bad value. They used to be $5 from the farmer 7 years ago. They've gone up good 100% in price in 7 years. But yeah, highly recommend it. And I'm building on my bale gardens that way I was using grass sativa first. Now I'm using sugarcane. The sugarcane's back out. Flooding's gone, and sugarcane farmers are back and running again. All right, so next one is saving seeds. Now, when we're saving seeds, it's really fun. It can be a bit monotonous for some people. There's no doubt about that. Let me know if you're saving any of your seeds down below in the comments box, or next to me where we're chatting here, and or if you've ever done it or you're considering doing it. There's lots of videos online about it. When you're doing tomatoes, you can actually just cut a slice off, leave a bit of tomato, put it underneath a little bit of the soil, and if it's cold and the weather's going cold, you can store it in a dark place, and then you just start watering it and spraying it. It will shoot up that way. Really simple way to do it. Or what I do is I actually cut a slice and I put it on tissue, so the tissue paper that you use, like in the kitchen stuff, like not toilet tissue, and just smear it over it. I let it dry out, and then I just roll it up and put it in a container that way. That's just a really simple, quick way to do it. You just cut little bits out and put it in, and it works quite well that way. Or you could do the whole fermenting thing, like in Learn to Grow, Marcella teaches it how to do it in the water and jars and things like that. And you remove this little, it's like something that sits around the outside of the seed, a gelatin. Also, like lettuce seed is really easy to collect. Basil seeds really easy to collect. These seeds that produce big long flowers, all the brassicas, really easy to collect. Like the arugula rocket produces so much seed, and then we just need to store it in a nice cool place. I like to use those the vials, like the vitamin B ones that you put in the fizzy. They store things really well, I find, and they've got a bit of a vertical space, and you can shove more than just one type of seed in there. You wrap it up in little plastic and label it, just pour it in, and you end up with heaps of seed just in these little tubes. So that's how I do it sometimes. I'm going to be looking more at it. I produced video on seed saving. They've never done well before, so I haven't really done a lot of it. But I think now, as we're moving into these current times of inflationary times and moving into becoming more self-sufficient, saving money, becoming more into urban homesteading, it needs to become a part of our cycle, because once we start saving the seed, it's more than just saving the seed and saving the money. We're creating new generations of plants that love to establish themselves in this area. And then we can actually share these seeds with people around us. Seeds are extremely valuable. And, if the globalization had its way, they would make all these seeds so they didn't self-germinate, and then we would lose our power control of our seed. They've done it with a lot of stuff, and nutritionists say that food that produces bad seed isn't as quality food as well. So if you're eating a seedless watermelon, apparently it's not as nutritious as a watermelon that contains seed. Now that makes a lot of sense, because the inside of the outside embryo, wherever the seed's carrying, is when that fruit drops and breaks down, is what sets the seed off. It ferments and creates all this nutrition for the seed, and gives it a fresh new start. So think about that, the way it goes. Seeds actually contain fats and things, and I've got a video about, if you go on the channel and type in sprouting seeds, I've got a video on it about sprouting seeds. It's quite a popular, long video, about 20 minutes, but really worth watching. And go for it, I'd say. Right, Garden Kings, I'm saving seeds from a monster radish growing out in the back of the potato beds. It's gotten huge. The leaves are great for feeding to me rabbits and chickies too. That's a good idea. I've been looking at that, so thank you very much for sharing that with me, Scott. I've had trouble with cabbage moth eating the seed heads of my radish plants in the past, but there doesn't seem to be as many cabbage moth around at the moment, but it's probably still a bit cool for them yet. But I think that's a great way to do it, and store the seed. And radish makes a great microgreen as well. So you always get more seeds than you need. Then you can grow some microgreens, and you can grow some mature plants, collect the seeding, and keep creating that cycle. Now I'm doing it with peas at the moment, and working on growing sort of more peas for sprouts and ongoing food and stuff, and also fertilizing the ground, so putting that nitrogen into the soil and fixation and stuff like that. All right, so if you come in a bit late, you can always go back and watch the rerun at the beginning. Any super chat is extremely appreciated. Thanks again to Mark for that super chat before of $30. Really appreciated. and it goes a long way, more than what you would think. All these little bits just add up to something amazing. All right, so Mohammed Susi, hey Marty, we always watch your video with family during the dinner. Your fans from Morocco. Thank you so much. Hey man, good on you, mate. It's unreal just seeing all people from around the globe, and blessings to you, mate. And yeah, appreciate you, and say hi to the family. Owain's Worm Farm. Do you have a seed swap scheme or group in your area, Marty? And do you think it's a good idea? I think it's a great idea if someone wanted to actually like become like the group head cooperative for that. I don't have time for something like that. They do exist in my area. They used to be a seed saving community here. Lost a bit of contact with them. They were quite big years ago, and maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago around where I live here. So they could be still around. But for the moment, I'm just collecting what I need and then sharing it with people around here. And as my place expands here, we're probably looking at maybe even selling a bit of seed, who knows, maybe selling a few plants and things. Got to look at different income streams coming in from this place eventually, which will involve, selling a little bit of compost worms, some castings, only small amounts, but all these little amounts actually add up, and we're going from there. And, hopefully in the near future, I'll have a bit of help, and it's something that will be announced if it all works out. Into the future. I just don't want to go out and say anything that I just may not happen, but it's looking pretty good at the moment. So yeah, great thing to share. And I think look it up for your local area and check it out. Now I know libraries down the coast where I live, libraries gave away free seed, and also gardening groups. And it's unreal if you go to a library and there's like packs of free seed just sitting there for you. Just unreal. G'day Rick, welcome mate to the live show, and we're talking about homesteading, saving money, and starting an urban homestead now. And so we're looking at, ways that we can change our mindset into moving into that, thinking that we don't have to build these big expandable places. We start off small and just slowly expand out. Maybe looking at, like at the beginning, that 30% food on your kitchen plate, like I do. And then you can expand out further from there if you want, but you'll find that 30% actually becomes quite a lot, actually becomes more than 30% in time, because you can get the 30% quite quickly, and then once you've got some fruit and different things coming in from perennials and stuff like that, and buying your plants, you usually can hit that 40 to 50 within a year or two. So yeah, and we're talking about that, buying in bulk, and forming little mini cooperatives with your family, buying in bulk and then storing it in good ways and preserving it, things like that. And to save money, because it's really important. And batch cooking, saving energy, and also saving seed and things like that. So I think we've covered quite a lot, and I'm really interested in what your input is on anything that you would like to share. No one said anything about batch cooking, which I'm really surprised. That means that you're not doing it. Think about it. I'll give you a recipe for one of my batch cooks, right? So chicken mince, breadcrumbs. Now, what you're doing is you're making like a bake sort of thing. So it's like a meatloaf, but it's not actually a meatloaf. This is my recipe that I've twisted from a Thai recipe from living in Thailand for many years. And what we do is we're creating a chicken Thai meatloaf, right? So we need coriander. I'll start again from the beginning. You need chicken mince. Write this down, guys. It's an awesome one. Chicken mince. Say it again. Then you need like garlic, some ginger. You need a good bunch of coriander. Now you can use any herbs you want, but coriander works really good with this. Then you need soy sauce, fish sauce. Now add the soy sauce and fish sauce. Don't go too hard, but it's going to get too salty. And there goes the phone again. And I'm not going to answer that. I need to realise I'm on a live show. Anyway, probably who knows who that one was. Right, so we'll get back to it. Then what you need to do, breadcrumbs, and you roll it and you mash it right in, right? Really get into it. Create a loaf, bake it slowly in your oven, right? And then last 10 minutes, just crank it right up to the heat to sort of give it nice crispy on the outside. And then just let it sit, and you cut it into slices so it can go on sandwiches, you can go on the edge of rices, You can put it on the edge of like meals of salads, things like that, and you can actually break it up into three parts in the different containers. You want to keep some in the fridge, 2 lots in the freezer, or just one in the fridge, and you just slice it off because you're going to be eating it every day. Great meal, really awesome one, and love that one. And it's a ripper, and it tastes brilliant, and people will just go wow, especially if you're using the fresh coriander, right, which we can grow right at this very moment in Australia and where you are around the fall. So yeah, I think that's a good way to go, and happy to share. So you just say I batch cook spaghetti, I batch cook like spring rolls, I batch cook patties, I batch cook, I make a lentil curry. That's one other one that I batch cook with. I just use brown lentils, and I use a red curry paste, and I use garlic, ginger, and I just put all my herbs into it, cook it up with some veggies and onion, and you can just use as much red curry paste you like for the chili flavour. You can add a little bit of extra chili flour if you want to keep the curry paste down, and you can make like a meal with rice, and you can also make pies. So they're awesome. You get like the fluffy pastry, and you just make a pie. You can make lots of little pies. You make big pies. You can put some with coconut cream, some without coconut cream, some with potato, whoever the family likes it. Karen doesn't like potato. Oh, excuse me. So we cook 2 little separate ones on the trays. And another great little batch cooking recipe. Yeah. So Thai red curry paste with lentils, brown lentils. All right, I love batch cooking, always into preserving and making little things. Mate, you guys should do some homestead stuff on your channel, I reckon, and some like little homestead shorts that'll really help your channel kick off quite big. And let me know when you do them, I'll watch them. I sometimes do batch cooking, potato and leek soup. It's nice to have over winter. Yeah, that warm stuff, unreal soups and things. You can really let them sit and then reheat them easy. I think they're a great one for winter for sure. Even different times through the year, but really good winter food, right? All right, so let's have a look at what we've got here on the thing. We'll see how long we've been running for. 47 minutes, 26 people watching, 24 thumbs up. If you haven't given us a thumbs up yet, please do. Helps with the algorithm for people coming to watch the show, and also for the rerun, which then helps a little bit more income come into Marty's Garden channel. And I'm working on just doing this full time now, getting some more help in here, really expanding. I'm really faithing it because we don't really have the income coming in that's required to do it. Because before I was selling compost and worm castings and some worms and things like that. And so we had other ways of coming in. So at the moment, it's just pretty much my part-time job, which I've split that in half to doing just afternoons instead of mornings and afternoons, just afternoons now, and working on doing these morning productions from home so I can get the content out to you guys and share what I believe will be really helpful. Some news stuff and some of the vlogs and some of the live shows, some of the worm farming, things like that. So yeah, stoked to be here and just loving it, just absolutely loving it. Let's get a look here. What else has been said? Right. Garden Kings. It's a bloody great idea. I know it's a great idea. It's hard to get behind the camera though. Don't know how you do it. You just sort of walk in and you just got to pretend you're talking to one of your mates. That's how you do it. You just go, I'm just talking to my friends today. And then it just changes your mindset. I know. And you just don't look at the camera and get all self-conscious. Like today I've got a bit of, I've got this broken nose thing going on here, I've got a little bit of problem with my skin today. You just don't worry about it. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be lucky enough. I'll go, right, makeup. Who knows? But then, we want to keep it real, keep it authentic. So I don't think we'll ever get to that. But we have a lot of fun doing it anyway if we did. All right, so let's keep going down here. But yeah, look at the YouTube shorts, man. And even like some little quick 3-minute, 4-minute videos. More of them, more production. And just look at making your video like 1%, 2% better each time. you'll find that it'll increase and do much better. But your missus is doing well, mate, so just keep cruising along there. Bendigo fruit trees. Hey, Marty, I make lots of chili sauce late summer. Let me know if you'd like me to send you up some, mate. I would not say no to that. 100% would love some. Would love some. You've sent something to me before, I think. So, I don't know, you've got my new address. But anyway, you know, you can get my email through the contacts in my homepage thing here on YouTube. And, oh, mate, just be killer. Maybe if I make some jalapeno sauce, I can send some down to you if I can get my jalapenos cranking. We can do like a swap sort of thing. I'd really like that. That'd be awesome. So yeah, thank you so much, Rick Thielen, regular watcher of the Marty's Garden Show now. Thanks, Rick, for coming in and watching the show, and as well as everyone here. I really appreciate you all. Hungarian goulash is a good batch cook for a week's worth of meals, for one. Hungarian goulash. Now, I don't really know the Hungarian recipes, but you've got me thinking. I'd like to have variety in my life, so thank you so much for sharing that. And we've got, whoa, we're getting into the heavy stuff here now. Mononeuron. What are the top 5 critical systems in your garden? Right, I'm going to smash them out first. You've got to systemize the way you grow space. You've got to have zones. I created this in one of the last videos that I put. You've got to have zones. You've got to have zone 1, where you have your first little vegetable garden that you start off to get going. And that'll have your herbs and veggies and some different things where you can come in and harvest out quickly. And then you have your zone 2, which is like your area where you produce your seedlings, your microgreens, a little tiny bit of baby leaf to move on to your garden. And if you're growing them all together, you've actually got another food source coming out of there because you've got microgreens, and if your baby leaf, you're doing that there as well. And then you're moving your seedlings out into zone 1. And you can actually, if you build out your zone 2, you can actually systemize it where you can make some money and still sell some seedlings and things like that if you want to go that way. So you're looking at expandability all the time. Zone 3 is your fruit trees, things like that, your perennials and long-term crops. And then your zone 4 would be like a bush food area if you've got space. I'm building one out now of natives and bush foods and fruit trees and things all together. And so you're actually building up your habitats for animals to come into your vegetable garden and take care of your garden, so you're not doing the sprays and things. Now, there's a bit more to it, but that's the fastest way to get food in and out fast organically. Create your zones, build out slowly, and just take your time. So that's 4 critical systems, I believe. With the 5th one sort of really falls into that sort of permaculture zone of having different levels then. So once you start building your garden, you have your upper canopy, your mid canopy, and your lower canopy. Now, certain lower canopies, the ones that grow along the ground, can be leafy greens that can handle a bit more light, sunlight, don't need as much sunlight. Things like better leaf, have a look at my better leaf video. They grow really well on the ground like strawberries, and you harvest these big massive leaves to make wraps with. So think about your levels so you can use your space efficiently. And also in pots you can do that too, guys. So I want to show you something, because we haven't got into this yet. But let's get over there now, and we're going to have a look at share the screen here, and hopefully you can see that. It's not a great picture, but you can see they've got like pots in levels. So this one here, there's like 3 pots on top of each other. So you're thinking about the levels. And then we've just got another pot with some bok choy growing in it. And then another one here of sort of levels as well. So we've got a little pot plant down here, little parsley. We've got an nasturtium and something else growing out here in the top one. There's some sunflowers and other things spilling out, growing up like a type of trellis. And so, you know, you can think about levels in pots as well. You don't have to, it doesn't have to always be in the ground. And then we can look at going into something like this, where it doesn't have to be as big and as awesome as this, right? But this is pretty cool. And we've got like a space. So if you look at it like this, you've got your different zones and things. So your first zone really wants to be as close to the kitchen as possible. So you're not walking all the way down the backyard in the rain. It's not an effort to go all the way back down to collect. You want to be as close to you as possible to have a good garden near your kitchen, or a door where you can walk out and harvest easily. Then you expand out your zones from there and go from there. Now, this is a big permaculture style garden. Well, this is what they like to call permaculture in my day, or before when permaculture was being what was more food forest stuff like that. Now it's sort of more classed into these organics and creating these systems and things. So to me, that's just an awesome looking garden and looks very efficient, easy to take care of. And so that could be a dream garden for many. Now, from what I'm looking at, they haven't used a lot of their vertical space there, but who knows, it mightn't be the time of year for growing things that grow up vertical, which is more generally in the hotter times and things like that. The smaller leaf crops are generally in the winter and stuff. So that is an amazing garden and can inspire us to where we can actually head with something like that. So way cool, I reckon. And we'll just see if we'll just get back to my scene here. We go back to camera, and there we are. So hopefully that's inspired you a bit and helped you. I'm going to get back to some more questions here and comments. We've got Mohammed again. I grew a lot of different mint species using chicken waste compost. Now I started drying the mint for the cold season, and it's still growing like crazy. I'll harvest again and dry it to preserve it. You probably guys use mint a lot in your recipes, I would say, right? So that's really good. If you what you're using a lot of, I use basil a lot. So I grow a lot of basil as a microgreen, baby leaf, and into mature plant. And I'm going to collect and get going all the different types of basils here again. At the moment, I only have the common sweet basil, but the Genovese variety, but I've got it's a big leaf one. It's amazing. Okay, a Wayne's worm farm. Just let me have a little drink here for a second. We've been going for a while. Getting thirsty work running these live shows. A Wayne's worm farm. Had a lot of pears this year, so made 5 gallons of pear cider. We've quite a batch now. Now we're batching. This is cool there, and definitely too much to drink in one go. Well, awesome. You can always give some out. If you can store some to the best ability. But I always think if you can make a little bit more and bless others with it, then why not? People just don't get this stuff given to them. They never go this like just when I give away eggs, they're like, "What? You're giving me eggs? I can have your eggs? Yeah, I'll give you some money. No, have the eggs. They're so good. They're the best eggs in the street." They're probably the only chickens in the street. Or I could say they're the best eggs in, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so let's keep moving down these questions here. We'll move into question and answer time, guys, now. Just crank out the comments, crank out any question that you might have, anything to do with urban homesteading, urban farming, worm farming, vegetable gardening, anything along those lines. It's just something that you want to share that I can put out here that's related within the content of what we're talking about, the content text of this channel. Garden Kings. Scotty's cranking today, mate. I love it, Marty. Maybe I'll get into my makeup. Bendigo fruit trees. What an ideal. My mission says would love to send Marty and Karen up a goodie box too. That's awesome. Hey, Deborah, big supporter of Marty's garden, and thank you so much, Deborah. My heart always goes out to you all the time. Such a blessing, and I'm sure you will get blessed from everything that you've done for this channel so far. So thank you so much, Deborah, and always nice to see you here. So we've been talking a lot today, right? And we've still got 19 people watching, 28 thumbs up. Now we've done quite well. We're just going on an hour. We normally don't run too much past an hour, but we'll go for a little bit longer yet and try and liven things up a bit with this conversation about urban homesteading and removing that mindset of that we have to actually have these big gardens and things. We can actually just start on a balcony or a small space. I started the Marty's Garden Show on a balcony, even though, like when I was working before, I worked on farms and things like that. And then I moved to Thailand, ran the surf school. So if you watched the last video that I brought out, we talked about how I did a lot of a lot of surf rescue and stuff there and different things. And when I moved back from Asia with my daughter Karen, we only had an apartment, and I started very small and expanded out with just pots and things. And I was surprised how much food I could grow on this little veranda herbs, tomatoes, even had fruit trees in pots and stuff, avocados in pots and that, it was just unreal. And I was just like, and all done with a worm farm, because I was like, I've got to save so much. I was so poor. And I just found that the worm farming saved me so much money. And it was just, I'm just like, this is unreal. And I just like, this has got me now. I'm going to learn more about this and expand into this. So I moved into micro farming. I did that for a while, ran a couple of other little businesses on the side until I got sick. And then we moved down the coast a little bit. And now we're back here in the Byron Shire, going bigger and better and enjoying, but still using this small space. So what I'm saying is you don't have to have these massive gardens. You can actually use your vertical space quite well in pots and things. Look at places like, excuse me, we're live, so I can't do the big burp belch there. But look at things like Pinterest and stuff like that, where you can get these really great ideas and get inspiration for growing vertically out of pots and using your space in the levels. It's really, I think you can really take it much further than even I did. Right, so let's move into this. What fruit would you like in your garden, Marty? Oh man, the more the merrier. To tell you the truth, I love bush Australian native foods. I love all the citruses. I love all the avocados. I like, like chocolate pudding fruit, persimmon. I've got to get one of those. And then some different exotic things, and some dragon fruit. I'm just going to keep building out. Now, I know that as I build out, some won't do so good. Some will do. So it's a lot of trial and error. Still got really heavy clay here. Citrus does okay in the heavy clay. So planning that out. Things like I want to get macadamia nuts. They don't do so well on the heavy clay. So as I build out the soil and get the soil profiles better over time, I'll be able to increase some more plants and things, and maybe look at building levels with drainage. Who knows? But I want them all. I don't normally say about being greedy, but yeah, bring it on, man. Lots of food. Here we go. Let's get back to Mohammed. In fact, we use mint 2 times a day because our main drink is the green tea. We grow basilic to use in salads, so basilico or basil in salads and pizzas. Your advice in composting helped me a lot, and my plant's immunity got better. Straight away, better cell growth in the plants. If you're building your soil web up, you get stronger, bigger cells, and the pests can't penetrate as much through the cell wall, and you get less pests, less disease and things like that. More essential oils, better tasting food, healthier food for you. And all good. Glennie's gardening. Morning, brother. Morning, mate. Pinball Wizard. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Pretty sure everyone is having a really good day here today, and it's just unreal to see everyone here. We've had a really, really, really good show so far. We will run on for another 5 more minutes, and if you've got anything else that you'd like to share here with me, and then we'll finish off with the theme song, my favorite theme song, and it gives you so you'll get to hear the actual the words to this song. At the moment, I'm using it mostly for like the one without the words as the theme song for a lot of the music on the channel at the moment. I'm working on it, so put your comments in, guys. I'm still going to answer them for a little bit longer yet. Anything you'd like to say, but I'll let you know what's coming up. So I was looking at making another channel and things like that, and introducing these other things into these other channels. But I'm just going to put all this content into this channel, but I'm going to create different like playlists for different types of content. So the news stuff related around farming and things like that will go into another playlist, and it'll be on a certain time of the week. And then the vlogs and things like that will be eventually going to another playlist. So if you miss anything, you can watch it in the playlist and see the steps by steps, because some things you just may miss and go, I wonder why it was like that. You can go back and hopefully watch it. So Garden Kings, 30 likes, 23 watching. Yes, stoked. Unreal. Thank you so much, guys. It's really great to have you all here. I know Monday isn't my biggest day. The weekends I have my audiences here more so, but want to try and connect with you as many days as I can. build up the channel. Hopefully we can get to 50,000 in the next few months. We're at nearly at 46,000 now, and it'd be wonderful to get to that first goal there. Mono neuron. Do you use biochar? Yes, I do. I really like it, and I think if you can make it yourself, why not do it? Use it's great for the soil web and great for mixing into different things. I think it's more appropriate in the ground, or if you're using it like in areas where you're going to use worm casting, the fungi, additives, things like that, a little bit of biochar, way to go, because it's creating that surface area that where the microbes and everything, the fungi and everything can attach to and make homes to. Now keep in mind that we'll do that in material that's breaking down as well, such as little wood chips, anything that's sort of like breaking down into becoming into the humus zone. I'm really into feeding from the top, and then you get down to the humus zone where, where everything's soft and spongy, and not before it was becoming soil. This is where all the centipedes and the fungus is moving through, and everything's just alive. And this is where a lot of the feeding stuff's going on. And some of the plants that feed in that just below that zone, they're connecting with the fungi and getting their sugars and things like that by sharing the photosynthesis. This is what we need to all aspire to if we're growing in the ground as far as organics go. And in the beginning, we just need to feed nutrients, such as cow manure and different things. And we need to bring in, as we're taking stuff away, we need to just keep bringing stuff in. So that's why I always talk about the enclosed loop here, things that are coming in from, say, outside from the shopping centres and things. Keep it all in there. It's all valuable. Compost it, worm farm it, dig it into the veggie patch, whatever. Don't let it leave out into the green bin if you can avoid it. Keep it on site. It is valuable and becomes more valuable over time, and just gets better and better, like a fine wine does. And it's better than fine wine, because wine just gives us some pleasure, but it can't. We can live without wine. This is much better stuff in my opinion. Some of you might really like wine. So anyway, look, what I'm going to do now is at the end of the show, we all say goodbye to each other. So you can leave comments in there, in the box, and then I drag them across. And so everyone can say goodbye to their friends, say goodbye to me, leave a little comment or whatever you want to say, and while the song's playing out. And then, we wave goodbye and talk about the Scotty saying, bring on the Garden Kings, saying, bring on the live shows, bring them back. Do you want to see them come back? Maybe that's a comment you can put in there as I'm playing out the music there. Before we start the music, going to have a little drink. And if anyone wants to drop a super chat in there before we go, very welcome to. You can also, there's a link down below in the description for heading over to the Buy Me a Coffee. If you can become a member in there, that really helps this channel to grow. And if we get the bigger membership, we can get better productions, get more help in here at Marty's Garden, and start expanding out and helping more people. Some people say to me, how come you haven't got thousands and thousands of videos? I don't know, but I love everyone that comes in here, and we just going to keep doing the best we can between you and me and the community and whatever else comes in here. Remember, Mark's from Self-Sufficient Me. Early in November, we're going to be filming here, and hopefully the rain will hold off and we'll have a great day. Right, let's get the music going. And I will say goodbye and wave you out with the comments. Love you all.
The sun is warm, there's a gentle breeze. All the birds are making homes inside the evergreens. The air is clear with our loved ones close. You can pick out every star without a telescope. So beautiful to see how we have changed. In time, everything we've lost comes on again, and I will grab onto your arm a little stronger than we were before. I've missed your face, has it been that long? Looking forward to a fire and a sing-along. Let's stay the same, as the children grow, and teach them all the simple things we thought we used to know. So beautiful to see how we have changed. In time, you know, everything we've lost comes home again, and I will grab onto your arm a little stronger than we were before. In a word, in a day, we are all brand new, and it's love that we're fighting for. I'm proud, you know, that we always held out hope. So if you grab onto my arm, let's take a walk until the sun gets warm. In time, you know, everything we've lost comes home again, and I will grab onto your arm a little stronger than we were before.
Wow, that song, man, it just touches my heart every time, and I don't know if I could ever change the theme song to this show. For some reason, my phone's been cranking a bit today, so I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, thanks again so much for coming to watch the live show. Leave a comment down below if you'd love to see the live shows come back, and if you got this far to the end of the live show, even watching as like a rerun. That would be really cool to know if you actually got this far, a bit over an hour. Just unreal. Lots of love to you guys. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. Work about how you can save some money and think about your urban homesteading. Remember, worm farming can play a huge role in that, and composting and building up the ecosystems around you, loving the land, giving back to the land, and sharing with others. It's what it's all about. You have a great day. Happy everything. And we'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.